All right, the wait is over. Let's get this going, shall we? Welcome everybody to another live stream. We're doing a live Q&A session again. As per the usual thing, if you have a question, please drop it in the chat to the right or the left or whatever side it is, and the mods will clean it up and put it into a text that will pop up here. If you have some interesting questions or the same question as someone else, please don't ask the same question over and over again because you probably will get slow moded. So keep that in mind. Some general house cleaning before we get this party rolling. Massive shout out to the new channel members. If anyone wants to become a channel member, just click the join button below this video and you can become a member with everyone else who's a member. I can see there's some questions popping up already, so I will get to them shortly. But first, before we do that, let's talk about programming languages in cybersecurity. So this is a question that does get asked fairly often, with people saying, you know, how much do I need to know about different programming languages and which one is the best? So before you guys ask that question, I thought I would answer that question straight off the bat about programming languages. So programming languages in cybersecurity, I would have to say the most popular language is almost definitely Python. Now the reason for that is because it is used across multiple different technologies. You can use it for basic script writing. You can use it for automation. You can use it in networking with the higher end Nexus switches, among some other ones. And you can use it for all sorts of different little programs that you maybe want to make as well. It's just such a versatile language. Now there are plenty of other languages out there that you could learn. No audio. That's interesting. What kind of audio? Can anyone hear me? I mean, I'm talking here, but someone's saying that you can't get any audio. Someone verify that. Yeah, it's coming through fine. Okay, sweet. So yeah, what was I saying about different languages? There are different languages out there, but yeah, there's a few that I would probably look at more than others, and it also depends on the sort of job that you want to go for, or the one that you already have that you're going to use those languages in. So there is like Java, which is quite useful for things like bug bounties, and there is C, which is useful for lots of other stuff. If you consider HTML a language, I probably wouldn't, but that's also quite useful with bug bounties. And yeah, being able to use what I would say is the most useful language, which is Python. In my personal opinion, I'm sure other people have other opinions on that. There is plenty of other languages out there that you could use as well, but I would say Python is the one, and for the reasons I've already stated. So let's get into some of the questions going on here. There's quite a few that I've seen coming in, and I'm keen to answer them. Before I get really started though, I do have some cool new audio effects for this live stream that I'm actually super excited about. And there's something that I haven't really done before, and you might have noticed I've cleaned up the chat here slightly. This thing is bigger, so it takes up more of the screen, so I'm kind of squished down here. And the tip jar is still there. It's opposite to me, and the highlights and stuff is over here. But I also have some extra audio. So if we get enough questions in, I will do a power round, and we'll see what happens when that gets to it. So let's get to the first question. The question is from Feben Matthew, and the question is: Hello, sir. I'm from India. I'm currently doing a course on CPT and CEH. I've heard that blue team jobs are more, or there's more blue team jobs. What certifications should I pursue after CEH to be an offensive security side, OSCP, or what? It's a good question. It's one that seems to come up every live stream. If someone wants to get into blue team, what should they into red team, what certification should they do? I would say the most common certification is the OSCP for pen test positions. The thing that I usually do when looking for different certifications that I should get is to look at basically some job posting websites. So there's plenty of websites out there that have different job postings on them, and the way to find out what the most asked for certifications is, or the way that I do it, is to basically go onto those websites and have a look at what they're asking for. I think you'll find that most jobs are asking for the OSCP, which is great. It's it's the most commonly asked for certification because of how in depth it is. Sure, it is expensive, but it's expensive for a reason. It's because it's so well received within the industry, especially with hiring managers and different people out there. So yeah, that's I would say go for the OSCP if I was you. Good to see some familiar faces here in the chat. There is we've got Rio, we've got Raul. There's another guy I saw before that I've seen before, Antrit Barman. I've seen him around. We've got the mods in here. As I've mentioned before, all of the tip money, so everything that ends up in this tip jar over here, will end up in the mods pocket. It all goes straight to the mods. So yeah, it's just a bit of fun really to do it that way, I think, and it sort of shows that I do actually care about my mods. I like to keep them happy and keep the stream going, which is good fun. Side note before I get to the next question, how ridiculous is this merch? Is it not the thing? I think this is a good cue for some of this music. Give me a second. Get some decent CyberSec merch today. All right, next question is from NK77, and the question is, hi, I want to get into SOC as an analyst. What resources do you recommend? In addition, what certificates do I need or should I take? So you want to get into SOC, I would probably recommend the CYSA Plus if you want to go for certifications. It's a good certification to get as far as gaining experience in a SOC, because it's targeted directly at a security analyst position. So yeah, I mean, it's there's lots of reasons why it's a good certification, and there's lots of reasons why there's other certifications out there. There's also the Blue Team, what's that website called? I think it's just called Blue Team Security or something like that, where it basically says it's all specifically Blue Team. That is also quite good. And if I can find a link for it, or if any of the mods know what that Blue Team website is, throw it in the chat, and I'll get onto then you can see the link. I'm gonna do a power round because there's a lot of questions coming in. I hope the mods are ready for this. Get yourselves ready, guys, because we're about to do a power round. Audio transition, and we got an overlay. Look at us go. All right, power round. We're gonna get through 5 questions here without stopping. No more telling people to look at my stupid shirt or anything. Let's get 5 questions going. I'm gonna move my mic right in front of me, move my keyboard away. Let's have a look. First question is from Feb Matthews, actually asking the second question. His question is, to be a cybersecurity specialist, do we need to obtain a master's degree certificate or MTech degree certificate in India? Or having certifications is enough? If so, which certification should I go for? In India, the field over there is pretty extreme. There's a lot of people going for a lot of different jobs, and it makes it a very tight market. Unfortunately, actually having a master's degree is almost a requirement, like a base level. So getting into having a master's degree is definitely worthwhile, I think. Next question is from Bassett. The question is, hey, I'm new in the industry or cybersecurity field, but I have a lot of info on how things goes, and I want to do internship to learn and then work. Please suggest a company that hires freshies for internship. Good question. Places that will pay you to be an intern is pretty low. It also depends on what country, because they usually employ interns from the country that they're in. There is a couple of websites out there that list different internships for different fields that are pretty good to have a look at. You can also find internships actually on job posting websites, which is pretty useful. All right, next question is from GizGirl70. And the question is, does it help to do some CompTIA courses, or are they not relevant? It depends what job you're actually going for if you want to do those certifications. I quite like the CompTIA certifications, but it also, like I said, it depends on what you're going for and what experience or current qualifications you already have. So with those, with the CompTIA stuff, if you're going for something like the A+ and you've already done university, I would say it's not worthwhile doing. But because it's quite basic and it's very hardware focused, and a lot of the information you can find on the A+ is already available on YouTube or Medium or various different websites. So yeah. But in overall, I would say the CompTIA Security Plus is a good cert. COSA Plus is also a good cert. I probably wouldn't get this Network Plus because I would replace it with a CCNA because it's more industry recognized. So yeah. All right. Jennifer Olomia is the next question, and she has asked, how easy is it to move from technology risk to cybersecurity, especially if one is interested in governance? If you're already working in technology risk and you're moving into governance, then it's definitely an easy jump for you. I would have a look at different frameworks, though, to sort of get yourself in the right frame of mind. For something like the PCI compliance or the ISO 27001, that would be a great place to start for sort of understanding what sort of I guess risks that you're going to be understanding or having to understand or write procedures for as a governance risk officer. There's also, they seem to focus a lot on the legality of different risks and systems that are going to be put in place. So having an understanding of the legal system in regards to cybersecurity in the geographical area that you live in is probably going to help you out as well. Last question on Power Round is from Tushar Nagar, and the question is, did you do bug bounty in your free time when starting your career? The answer for that is no. I actually absolutely hate doing bug bounties because they're super time consuming, and I like to spend my time helping you guys out with YouTube and working through my 3 businesses as well as working a contract. So honestly, I don't have time to do bug bounties. It's just far too time consuming for me, and I feel like it's just kind of, it's just going to waste my time essentially. All right, power round is over. We'll do another power round in a little bit, and we can get that music going. I kind of want to drop another merch thing just so I can play the sound, but let's do it. CyberSec merch. It's not on sale. I don't know if Teespring did a sale or anything like that, but I mean, you could wear this, which kind of looks like pajamas, and it's, I mean, what's not to love about this shirt? It doesn't breathe at all. It's super hot here at the moment. I've got the aircon pumping behind me, and yeah, so maybe don't buy this shirt unless you want to be really warm. Otherwise, there's plenty of other sick merch. There's a pillow, which you can see behind me. There's a little pouch and some other cool stuff. Have a look at that. That's some cool stuff to look at. All right, let's get on to the next question. It's from RX100, and their question is, how do you showcase your hacking skills? That's a good question. I quite like that. Most of the time, I've sort of focused on LinkedIn as my, I guess, place to go to look for different, or maybe not look for, but to showcase what experience I have, because LinkedIn was originally designed as a sort of like an online resume type website. It's obviously progressed into a social media beast since then, and it's all over the place now. But you could do that. You could do it on LinkedIn and write out articles and have access to share them across a huge amount of people. Some people prefer to showcase their skills on Twitter, which obviously has its own viral side behind it. Some people like to make YouTube videos and showcase them that way. What I've done for companies that I've either been applying for work or they've asked me for, a bio on myself is literally written up a one-page bio. You can use free apps like Canva to make that, and basically create a one-page bio with a little picture of you and what your main skills and areas of expertise are, and then maybe a couple of pages of some career highlights or something like that. That would be a good place to start as well. You could also write Medium articles. That would also help and potentially get you paid. There's plenty of ways to showcase your skills. You could even, make your own website if you really want, which is kind of cool. And that way you could also, upload a video to your website to show exactly what it is that you've created, what technology sort of stands out for you that you want to showcase. So, yeah. The next question is from Sahil Basia, and the question is, how do you improve logical thinking in both red and blue teaming? Interesting question. Also, you told us earlier you'll be releasing some blue team labs for free. Will I? Can you tell us when you'll be releasing it? I think what you're talking about is the Safer Internet Project Christmas Challenge. It's a challenge on the saferinternetproject.com that I haven't published yet, but it will be out this month. That essentially has a bunch of blue team based machines that you need to harden and protect against the evil Grinch, who is going to come out and try and wreck Christmas for Santa. It's kind of like my own take on an advent of cyber, but it's on the defensive side, and I thought that would be kind of cool. That will be released sometime this month. Thank you, Ned, for dropping the link in the chat. On your question about how do you improve logical thinking in both red and blue teaming, to be honest, there's no right way to go about this. It's kind of, if you can understand new technologies and read about new threats that are coming out and understand how to protect against those threats or utilize those threats when performing a pen test. That's sort of how I've done it in the past. I remember when the whole Hydra thing came out, and I had to go and found Hydra and installed it and sort of had to go with that. And that's sort of how I learned. I was just sort of playing around with it. Before I answer the next question by Black Wolf, I'm going to have some water because I've been going gangbusters for the last 10 minutes. Oh man. Before I get started, if anyone is in here who hasn't already smashed that like button, I can see there's 39 people here. There's 53 likes. I want to see some thumbs up, baby. I want to see some big likes. I'd really appreciate it if you all smash that like button. I need to use that effect more. It's so damn cool. It's ridiculous. Anyway, next question is from Black Wolf, and the question is, what Linux distro other than Kali is good for cybersecurity? There is Parrot, which is widely used. It's designed as more of a daily driver as far as cybersecurity operating systems go, which is kind of why I don't like it personally. Also, I'm kind of old school, and I really like Kali, but if I was going to use anything else, and something that I have used a lot more than Kali more recently, is Black Arch. And the reason for that is, their installer prompts are sassy as hell. It's really fun. When you're installing it, you'll get a chuckle out of it. It's really funny. Apart from that, it's actually a really good operating system to use because you can pick and choose all of the modules, or I guess integrations or tools that you want installed at the beginning. So you just tick little boxes and you say, I want this. That's it. It installs the operating system. It's Arch, so you can say I use Arch, by the way. You get mad rep, and it's kind of cool. So yeah, that's I would use Black Arch, and I have been using Black Arch for a little while now. Next question is from Abhishek Sharma. Welcome back, Abhishek. The question is, somewhere that I can hack and get real experience instead of try hack me, sip and hack the box. I'm about to sneeze, so I'll just get... There it is. All right. Try hack me. It's not real experience. Hack the box, also not real experience. Safer Internet Project, or SIP, is real experience. That's the main difference of Safer Internet Project compared with these other ones, is that they're real business systems. And like real pen tests. So don't sort of compare it to the other two because it's a different beast of a thing. There's also learning modules thrown in as well, which is kind of cool. But apart from that, if you want to get some real hands-on experience with a real system in a not so controlled environment where you'll probably spend a lot of time without any guidance, is by doing bug bounties. I like I've said before, I find bug bounties to be a massive waste of time with very little guidance and very little actual resources to help you succeed, especially if you're a beginner. So yeah, I mean, it's kind of a tough gig, to be honest, but that's entirely up to you if you want to do that or not. Thank you, Christian Pop, for blessing me for that sneeze. I appreciate it. Next question is from Antrit Barman, and his question is, I want to learn more about Active Directory stuff. Any resource you would recommend? I'm actually putting a new machine on the Safer Internet project as a learning module, which is an Active Directory machine to learn pen testing for Active Directory. So there is that as well. There is, I believe, there's an Active Directory module on TryHackMe. Correct me if I'm wrong. I can't remember. But I can understand your want to actually get into Active Directory pen testing because it's actually very common in the real world in the industry, and maybe because the OSCP just put it in on their exam finally. So yeah, I think the Cyber Mentor also has a course on pen testing Active Directory, so that might also be an option for you. He does sales every sale period that there is. Like there's probably going to be a Christmas sale coming up, so maybe have a look at that if you're interested in learning about Active Directory hacking. Next question is from Anonymous. Who am I? The question is, how much networking skill is required to become an ethical hacker? It's an interesting question, and it's actually something that's very commonly asked. I would say networking skill is much higher than your programming skills are needed to be. Unless you're doing bug bounties, which is, think of bug bounties as finding faulty code, because that's kind of what it is. And I know it's specifically security related bugs, but I mean, as far as the real world goes, actually doing networking and pen testing networks is far more common because every system runs on a network. So yeah, networking, having skill to understand networking in the OSI layer and basically the fundamentals of networking is very important. Next question is from Tech Hybrid, and their question is, are there any payloads that work without reconnaissance or vulnerabilities? Interesting question. I'm not really sure what you mean there, but like, are there any payloads that work without recon? I mean, yes. Recon of vulnerability. I mean, you're going to need to understand what you're actually pushing a payload to. So I probably wouldn't recommend just, spraying and praying random payloads, because I mean, apart from that, it's probably illegal depending on what you're doing. I mean, I would just be careful there, because you don't really want to go out of scope. So doing the right sort of recon is a massive part of any pen test. I'm going to take a 2-second break and sit back for a second. I can see a lot of questions coming in, so I think it might actually be time for another power round. What do you guys think? Let me see it in the chat. I'm gonna watch the chat for a second while I have this water. Oh dear. All right. We ready for a power round? Mods, are you ready for a power round? Let's do a power round. All right. Power round. Power round. Power round. Let's do another power round. 5 questions in a row. Let's get this show on the road, shall we? Give me a thumbs up for stupid audio overlays. All right. First out of these 5 power round questions is from Cess T. And the question is the free TAFE Cert 4 of cybersecurity worth it if they don't have a background in IT? Yeah, I think it is. They actually teach you quite a lot of the fundamentals of IT, and it's not going to be too crazy to get into. Once you actually get into the coursework itself, you're going to be understanding a lot more about IT in general, and then it starts to focus on cybersecurity later on. Next question is from Troops Leader. I've seen you in here before, man. Welcome back. Question is, do you prefer Ruckus or Cisco? Cisco, hands down. I do actually have a certification in Ruckus. The RASDA something. I can't even remember what it's called anymore. But compared to Cisco systems, I've seen maybe Ruckus once compared to 10. So 1 in 10 networks compared Cisco to Ruckus is Cisco. But also the Ruckus stuff is very closely related to the Cisco system. So it's all very much of the same thing. I just prefer Cisco because I've worked with it a lot more. Next question is by Tambilangi. Sorry if I've said your name wrong. And the question is it very difficult to almost impossible to get started in cybersecurity in UK? Even though I will finish an honours in Bachelor of Science, what entry-level project do you recommend to work on? That was a very interesting question to read. It was a bit backwards. Is it very difficult to... it's very difficult to almost impossible to get started in cybersecurity in the UK. Yeah, it's pretty tricky, but there's lots of jobs in network security, which would be an easy stepping stone into cybersecurity, even though you probably studied some sort of cybersecurity something. What entry-level project do you recommend to work on? Absolutely the attack defense labs. I'll see if I can one of the mods put a link to my attack defense labs in the chat, please. It's a whole playlist on basically trying to get through building your own attack defense system at home on your own computer. It doesn't require a lot of resources. You could probably build it on a bunch of Raspberry Pis if you have them available. Next question, number 4, is from Amit Duendi, and the question is, I am in a NOC, worked for 2.5 years. Congratulations, it's actually really hard work to work NOC for 2.5 years. I'm trying to switch into cybersecurity now, but I hardly remember anything, feels like I'm at zero. Relatable, yeah. Any recommendations like starting from scratch or something else? If you want to get a refresher of knowledge on cybersecurity, I could recommend the Safer Internet project as a way to gain that experience, as well as understand what cybersecurity is and talk with other cybersecurity professionals who are already working in the industry. Another great way to learn is by doing some CTFs. You could refresh your knowledge a little bit and get an understanding that way, and perhaps join a Discord server. If anyone wants to join my Discord server, it's discord.gg/DC CyberSec. There's plenty of people in there who are willing to help you with your cybersecurity related questions. Just don't spam the chat. And it should, yeah, you'll be absolutely welcomed there with open arms on how to get started in cybersecurity. So jump on into my Discord server. Last question of Power Round is from Pratik Parikh. And the question is, how good/useful is cybersecurity from DevOps perspective? It's massive. It's a huge booming side of cybersecurity, man. It's oh man, DevOps. So once you get to DevOps, you can go into DevSecOps, which is more of the same thing, just more security focused. And a great way to actually get into that is by doing some of the DevOps focused security certifications by Microsoft. And I know what you're thinking, that sounds ridiculous. Why would I do a Microsoft cert? They're actually super useful, especially the DevSecOps ones, also the AWS ones, because a lot of the DevSecOps stuff is actually hosted in AWS or in Azure systems, or Azure systems, depends where you come from. That's the end of Power Round, but you know what? I'm going to keep it going. I'm going to do a few more questions. Username, Tech Hybrid. Question: I have problems finding vulnerable VMs to work with. What do you recommend for me? You can actually find some on... can someone ban that person in the chat who's just spamming emojis? Don't slow mode them, just ban them. I have problems finding vulnerable VMs to work with. What do you recommend? Have a look on GitHub for some some VMs. You can actually find the Windows Eternal Blue vulnerable VM on there, or operating system. So that's always a fun place to start. If you want to create your own, I mean, every operating system has its own set of vulnerabilities, and basically searching different vulnerabilities just by literally Googling different vulnerabilities that exist and then creating those systems. Sometimes they're not so much actual machines that are going to be vulnerable. What you're actually going to be penetrating or pen testing against is the system that protects that OS. So, you know, maybe have a look at creating a firewall with pfSense, and then leave some holes open, leave some ports open, and see what you can find when you do a port scan, and see if you can get through to that machine and be able to access that machine in particular. That would be a good place to start. Next question is from RX100 again, and the question is, how do I get my first pen test internship from somewhere other than India? Indian companies use interns to promote their company socials and its products only. That's dodgy. That kind of sucks, and I feel bad for you. Getting internships out of India is honestly quite difficult. I mean, there's a lot of there's a lot of different membership type systems out there that are similar to like a trade school or an internship. The Safe Internet Project is one of those, which would be, you know, a good place to start, I think. But have a look on Google. Just search cybersecurity internship, for example, and see what there is and see what their requirements are. A lot of them are going to be asking for people who are in the US or in Australia or New Zealand or whatever. So yeah, I mean, just keep looking through and see what you can find. I honestly don't have a better answer than that for you. Last question in this power round, I'm going to end the power round on this one and have another sip of water, is from Whistleblower. And the question is, thoughts on the new OSCP exam pattern? I think it's actually really awesome, and I'm glad that they've introduced the AD stuff finally. It's I mean, better late than never, but the reason they would have taken so long is cheers Christian for the 14.99 Romanian lira or libra or whatever it's called. Cheers for that. The reason that they probably took so long to introduce the AD stuff into the OSCP is because they do write their content quite well, and while you don't get like retries and stuff like that for free, which other certifications do, I'm quite sure, and I'm actually kind of keen to do the OSCP again, just to see what's included, is because it's going to be a good certification. It's always been a good certification. It's very well industry recognized. I would absolutely, I really want to do it again just to see what's included with their AD stuff, because AD is such a massive piece of pen testing in cybersecurity. It's super useful. All right, let me have some water real quick, because that was a long power round, guys. That was a big one. How long have we been doing this so far? 35 minutes. Nice. Let's have a look in the likes. We've got 73 likes, and there's currently 60 people watching this. I'm gonna drop some more nice music for you to listen to help you and encourage you to click on that like button. It'll make my day. It'll make my week, and I'm never gonna get sick of that music. It's absolutely ridiculous. Smash like, guys. Come on, smash that like button. I want to see your likes. I wanted to actually get this live stream to over 100 concurrent viewers. So tell your mum, tell your dad, tell your sister, tell your brother, tell your dog to jump on YouTube. Go to youtube.com/DC CyberSec and watch this live stream, because if I can get to 100. I'll probably never play that audio clip ever again, I promise you. Anyway, the next question is from Harry Newman, and the question is, how much experience / knowledge would you recommend before signing up to Safer Internet Project? The way that we've designed the Safer Internet project is so that anyone who is interested in cybersecurity can basically learn from it. So all of the modules are self-paced. So if you are struggling with a module, you can spend as long as you want on doing it. You're also obviously open to ask myself or the other members or anyone else in there how to do a particular thing. That's the main difference, is that you get those one-on-one human interactions with industry professionals where you can actually ask those questions. So if you want to, if you're trying to do bug bounties and you're interested in learning about bug bounties and different types of vulnerabilities like XSS or cross-site or anything else really, XSS cross-site, that's perfectly okay. That's the whole point of it. If you want to get in there and have your hand held through your journey of cybersecurity down the yellow brick road to success, then the Safer Internet project is designed exactly for you. So yeah, go and check it out, saferinternetproject.com, for anyone who is interested. I swear I'll stop plugging the Safer Internet project when people stop asking me questions that can be solved by the Safer Internet project. So that's that. Next question is from Professor Black Ops, and the question is, have you ever pen tested a federal or government site? Yes, I have. I actually do most of my government contracts, or most of my contract work is with government agencies. And it has been for the last 5 years-ish. The reason I did that is because I was able to gain a NV2 government clearance a while back now, while I was working in a government agency. And I've been able to use that clearance going forward while doing contracting for different government agencies, doing pen testing, SOC work. I worked as a SOC team lead for about 1.5 years, which was kind of fun. And yeah, I mean, there's plenty of opportunities out there, and there's plenty of government contracts in Australia, especially in Brisbane at the moment. And some of them are paying crazy big money, way more than I used to get paid when I was working those jobs. So maybe I should go back and do them. Who knows? Next question is from Yobo. And the question is, I recently asked about preparing for an internal interview in your last Q&A. I just wanted to pop back and say I got the job. Awesome. Yobo, well done, dude. I'm gonna play this music for you and give you some central reality that you are a legend. And congratulations on getting the job. I'm super happy to hear about it. If you want to send me a DM on Discord and tell me a bit more about that job, I'm happy to receive it. I'd love to have a chat with you and see what it's all about. Next question is from Rodrigo. And Rodrigo's question is, hello DC. My question for you, or anyone in the chat who has taken OSCP already, for the exam, can we use our own Kali Linux VM, or do we need to use a Kali Linux VM given by Offensive Security? Back when I did mine in 2017, I was able to use my own. I don't know if that has changed. If anyone in the chat can help answer Rodrigo's question, I would really appreciate that, because I haven't done it for a while now. So yeah, but I mean, back when I did it, I was able to use it. Of course, you're proctored, so there's people watching what you're doing and stuff like that, and making sure you're not cheating. So yeah, I mean, they're gonna know what you're doing regardless. So I assume you would be able to. But yeah, anyone in the chat, please help Rodrigo out. The next question is from Strider Ryu7, and the question is, do you recommend getting our CCNA before taking up cybersecurity? That's an interesting question, actually, because no one's ever asked that. It's always, should I get CCNA or Network Plus or whatever. I actually think, yeah, I think the CCNA would be a good place to start before getting into cybersecurity, because like I've said before, with cybersecurity, a lot of things are based on networking, or not the systems. Well, the systems themselves are running on networks, but understanding essentially the OSI layer, that is probably the most important thing to gather and understand. Yeah, I mean, I would definitely say that is a better place to start than jumping straight into, for example, pen testing. I think it's going to be far more useful for you to do exactly that. How many likes have we got? Let's have a look at the likes. We're at 84 likes. We got 54 people viewing. Smash like, guys. Come on, smash that tasty like button. Next question. let's keep it moving, DC. Come on. Next question is from Hacking Raja Singh, and the question is, how do I go from being a beginner at Kali to an advanced user? Practice makes perfect, Mr. Hacking Raja Singh. So basically using it more and getting more familiar with it. When I started first using Kali, I had it as my main operating system, which is a massive no-no. It's a terrible thing to do, but it was for a reason, which was to learn as much as I could about the operating system and how to find my way around it quickly, and to understand the tools that were installed on there. It's a good operating system. It's terrible to use as a daily driver. It's not really designed for that, but yeah, I mean, that's what I would do if I was you. Just because, I mean, the more you practice something, the better you get at it. The next question is from Yukesh Raja, and the question is, would CEH get me a job? Probably not. If that's the only certification you're going to get, it's going to look bad on your resume, to be completely honest. There's a lot of jobs in India that ask for the CEH for some unknown reason. In most of the other countries in the world, the jobs that ask for a CEH are copy pasting from someone else's job description, and they don't understand what you actually need and how terrible the CEH is. I've said it 1,000 times before. I'm absolutely not a fan of the CEH. I think personally, it's an absolute money grab of a cert. But yeah, I probably wouldn't bother with the CEH. Next question is from Jesus Bender, and the question is, hello, good morning from America. Good morning. I'm about to start my job as an information security analyst. My question is, how do I grow and advance in my career? I really want to talk about the Safer Internet project again, but I won't. A good place to start your job, you're about to start your job as a security analyst, which is great. How do you grow and advance your career? While you're employed, ask them to help you upskill and to basically learn more about the tools that are in place or the systems that are in place by getting certified in them. If they have, for example, Checkpoint or Palo Alto systems, I would be asking them to pay for a certification for you to be able to professionally prove that you can work with those systems. I mean, that would be kind of cool. I would also probably be asking them to pay for some of the Splunk certifications. There is a free Splunk certification which is worthwhile doing, which is the Splunk Fundamentals 1. It's an absolute killer of a cert, and it's killer in the way that it looks great on a resume, and it does have some really good learning content in there as well. Splunk is used as one of the probably the main SIEM or logging system on steroids, as I like to call them, system out there. And it's used across multiple different governments, multiple different agencies, lots and lots of places use Splunk, and the ones that don't use probably like Exabeam or something, which is very closely related to Splunk. So understanding how those work would be super useful. If one of the mods could post the link to that Splunk Fundamentals, I'll see if I can find it. Actually, I'll just grab it real quick and do it myself. Chuck it in. There you go. It's in the chat. I have it shortcut because I talk about it so often. Yeah. Oh, Ned beat me to it. What a legend. All right. We got 3 questions left, so I'm gonna pump the brakes for a second. And if you guys in here have more questions, chuck them in the chat. I'm powering through these questions like there's no tomorrow. If you want to hang out with me after this live stream, which is probably going to be in about 15 minutes time when I finish this one up, jump into my Discord. It's discord.gg/DC CyberSec. Jump on in there and have a chat. I pretty much spend all my days in there. I spend a lot of time in that server. Just ask anyone who's ever been in there. You'll see me there all the time. while I've got your attention as well, what do you guys think of this live stream? Do you guys enjoy these Q&A sessions? Is it something that you come back for each week? I'm actually I'm asking you guys the questions now. It's the tables have turned, and I'm kind of interested to see if you guys enjoy these sessions, and if you like coming to them, and if you get some good knowledge, and if you've been here once or twice or a few times. I know a few of you, I've seen you around before, and that's great. And I'm just keen to know, do you guys, do you keep coming back for these sessions? It's I'm genuinely interested. Also, before I end this live stream in 15 to 20 minutes time, next week's session won't be happening because I will be at my wedding. So I won't be here for that live stream, unfortunately. I might drop in to my Discord server and throw some photos in there of the event if you're interested to keep up with what's going on in my personal life rather than not just cybersecurity. So yeah, I'm keen to see you all on my Discord server after this. But before everyone leaves, because I'm not ending this yet, we're going to keep going for a little while. Get those questions in. I want to see them all here. Next question is from DEFCON, and the question is, what do you recommend for someone that has been out of cybersecurity for 5 years but has over 20 years of experience? Skills rusty, but analyst or management role? Management. 20 years, dude, you don't need those hands-on skills. What you need is life experience, and it sounds like with 20 years, you have that life experience. I'd be looking at getting some sort of certification in managing people and managing projects. So some sort of project manager type position in cybersecurity or IT, whatever it is, I would be looking at that. If you have 20 years experience in IT, then you're definitely primed for at least like a service desk manager minimum. But I would be pushing up higher up the ladder than that, to be completely honest. Next question is from Nathan Wilson. I actually know a Nathan Wilson in real life, which is interesting. Question: going for a Bachelor of Computer Science next year, got a Cert 4 of Cybersecurity last year, currently hoping to get a CompTIA Sec Plus. Is this even basically right? So you got Bachelor of Computer Science, got a Cert 4, so you're going for the computer science, you got a Cert 4 already, so you've gone from TAFE to uni, and then you're looking at a Sec Plus. Is that right? Yeah, I mean, that's one way to go about it. I'm curious what job you're actually going for. I assume you're looking for something like a SOC analyst type position, in which case I would probably change out the Security Plus into a CYSA Plus, especially in Australia. I would also highly recommend for you to jump on the Safer Internet project, because there's a lot of Aussie guys in there, and I know I've been banging on about this all night, but there is a lot of Aussie guys in there, and being part of the Safer Internet project means your profile and resume will come to me, and I will actually take that to hiring managers and to recruiters that I know in Australia, all over Australia, and even the world, to try and help you get your foot in the door, because I don't want you to be a member forever. I want you to get a job. That's the main point of it, is to get people into jobs. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm what I'm all about. Good to see Ange in the chat. Welcome, Ange. You're in the room just just outside, so interesting that you're watching this live stream while literally in the next room. But anyway, next question is from Rohan Rajgupta, and the question is, can you give a rough estimate of how much you make in your current cybersecurity role? I can give you a rough estimate of what a pen tester makes in Australia, which is roughly 150 to 180,000 Australian dollars. Saying that, a lot of security analysts are making somewhere between, for very entry level, they're probably making 80 to, or maybe 70 to 90,000 a year. For people who have a bit of experience, they're probably on 100k plus. For anyone who's working as a Splunk engineer, they're making the big dollars. They're on 150,000 plus as well. So yeah, that's how much people make. Where's the next question, mods? Come on, keep up with the chat. Let's get the next question. They're too busy talking in the chat to Ange, and they've lost all track of the questions coming in. How good is this? You know what's interesting? I'm actually seeing a lot more chat in the chat from the mods than from all the you 61 people who are currently watching this. I think the views have actually gone up because a lot of the Americans are starting to wake up, because it's probably like 7 or 8 a.m. over there at the moment. So good morning, America. Good to see you all here, and I hope you're all enjoying this live stream. Well, we're going to keep it going. We're going to keep going until I've answered all these questions, and until you're all sick of this annoying sound. Yeah, you're welcome. All right, next question is from Nishant Kumar Das, and the question is, any tips for getting the EJPT? I think you asked this exact same question in the last live stream, if my memory serves me correctly. And my tips are the same as the last time someone asked this question, if it was you, which is to follow the labs that they give you in the coursework, because that's a great place to start. I mean, because it's designed to help you get through that certification. So yeah, I mean, there's that. There's also countless YouTube videos on what the EJPT is all about, as well as tweets on Twitter to sort of help you out. Next question is from Every Other Bar. And the question is, what's the best route to get into cybersecurity position from the lowly help desk support role? Don't discount the help desk support people. They are absolutely champions of the industry. They have to put up with very silly questions on their day-to-day life. They get yelled at by people who are very frustrated, and there's nothing lowly about help desk. It's just another job in cybersecurity. So let's not discount from that. How to get into cybersecurity from doing help desk? I would say first get certified in the area that you want to go to in cybersecurity, and also ask if you're working on a help desk, see if there is room to improve on the things that you're actually working on. So for example, if you're working in an MSP, ask if there's any way you could get some exposure to some of the security systems, and try and prove yourself that way. If you're working in-house, like in-house IT at a large organization or enterprise, or even a government agency, again, same question. See if there's something you can do that's security focused to get some of that security experience. And if you have to, have a look at different companies that are offering work for experienced cybersecurity people. So that's probably my advice for you. But yeah, I mean, there's lots of different areas of cybersecurity you could get into. So maybe figure out which one it is that you want to go to first before jumping that ship. Next question is from Azadine, and the question is, what's the best tool for recon? I mean, there's no real best tool, because there's multiple different tools for multiple different systems to do recon with. I mean, it's such a general question. There's no best tool for doing recon. There's just a collection of different tools that you can use for recon against different types of systems. So yeah, I mean, it's a hard question to answer because it's very generalized. Next question is from Harry Newman. I think this is a second or third question from you, but I've seen you in the chat. I've been sort of looking at it every now and then. The question is it worth setting up and practicing with home lab SIEM software? Yes. If so, any recommendations for open source SIEM software? Yes. Open source SIEM software, you can use Elastic to do that. Elastic is a beast of a product. Keep in mind that running your own like cloud-based server with Elastic on it can get very expensive very, very quickly. The other day I ran up essentially a virtual SOC SIEM using Elastic, and I managed to spend $400 in a month. Yeah, keep in mind that you really need to limit the bandwidth that's running through that scene, which is of course going to affect your results, but rather do that than blow budget out. So yeah. There is also some other open source ones, but yeah, I'll see if I can find it. I'll chuck it in Discord later. I can't remember off the top of my head at the moment. I'm gonna have some more water because I don't know if you can hear my voice, but it's getting a little bit crazy. So I just want another excuse to play that song. So. Okay. All right. Let's see if we can squeeze out another one of those tunes before this live stream is over. It's terrible. Smash like for annoying music that I keep overlaying. Next question is from Black Wolf, and the question is, I got an entry-level job as a data center technician. Awesome. That's a sick entry-level job, dude. That's dope as. What Linux distro would be best to know for cybersecurity? Probably Kali Linux. Just because it's so standardized. It's the most commonly used one out there. It's one of the, yeah, I'd say Kali Linux. Easy question. Next question from Newbie Guitar. I've seen you in here before. I always remember your name because Newbie. But anyway, question is it possible to be up to date with newest CVEs? It's funny you say that. I actually, in my Discord server, I have a live feed of every new CVE as it comes out. I usually use it as more of a search on previous CVEs instead of like watching new ones come in. But yeah, I would probably have a look at my Discord server if you want a live feed of all the CVs, or just go to their Twitter page and follow their Twitter. That's also a great place to go for. Next part of that question is it worth trying to be up to date with it? Not really. And then third question, which is written as second question, do you have any good podcast / newsletter about security to recommend? Do you actively listen to some? There's lots of really good podcasts out there. I prefer the more story-based ones like Darknet Diaries. Darknet Diaries, by the way, if you haven't checked it out, is freaking sick. It's such a great podcast. There's also there's another podcast which is similar but not the same. What's it called? It's something like Duped or something like that, where it's like more of a social engineering side of cybersecurity, basically around like scamming people, but in a good way, if that makes sense. That one's also pretty cool. But as far as like catching up, there's one by the guys at NIST who do a podcast. I can't remember what it's called, but just chuck it into Google, NIST Security Podcast. That'd be a good place to start. All right. Next question is from Louis de Freitas Sabretto Jr. I'm sorry I've butchered your name, but yeah. Next question is from this guy. His question is, hi, I have 40 years. Wow. I mean, does that mean you are 40 years old? I think so. I have no background in IT. Okay. How can I put my foot in the field? Interesting. Interesting question. Discount your age from it for a second, because I think the age is actually irrelevant. In fact, most places prefer hiring people over 30 or over 25, for example, because they're much more mature, and when following very serious processes at work, that's definitely something worth thinking about. If I was you, I would have a look at potentially joining some trade schools, basically doing the same as everyone else is doing. Join those networking groups that happen on, during weeknights, where they talk about cybersecurity, to get an understanding of what part of the industry you might be in, a part of, the bit that interests you the most, and basically understanding from then where you want to go and potentially getting certified in that area. So For example, if you want to become a pen tester, maybe have a look at doing the OSCP way further down the line, because if you have no experience in IT at all, probably this is the one case where the CompTIA A+ certification is actually worthwhile doing. So I think it's time, guys. I think it's time for another power round. What do you reckon? What do you reckon? Power round time is power round time, baby. Let's go. All right, 7 questions in the queue. I'm going to get through every single one of them. Mods, get your copy paste skills ready to go. We're going to smash through 7 questions. The first question is from Sandesh Moore, and the question is it a good idea to go for a master's in cybersecurity? Yes, if you're in India. If not, then maybe not. If you're going to study abroad, then yes, because sometimes it's required on visa requirements for permanent residency or gaining a working visa. Next question is from Nigerian Coder, and the question is, can cybersecurity be connected with AI or ML, which is artificial intelligence or machine learning? Yes, it can, and yes, it already is. There is a lot of machine learning in different SIEM systems out there. There's different machine learning in even the Checkpoint and Palo Alto systems, is even in their sandbox solution, which is kind of cool. There is AI thrown into all of these things, but it's mostly in the way of automation. I don't want you to confuse artificial intelligence with automation, but sometimes there is a crossover between the two. So that's definitely worth looking into on how automation affects different things in cybersecurity. Is AI going to take over? No. I'll answer another question on top of your question, which you didn't ask anyway. Next question is from Feb and Matthew. The question is, any Discord channels or resources that you would recommend to stay updated with cybersecurity related news and everything that's involved with cybersecurity certifications, exams, etc.? Yes, discord.gg/DC CyberSec, my own Discord server. We talk about all of that stuff all day, every day. The chat isn't actually super flooded, which is kind of good. People seem to ask really relevant questions most of the time, except in the last, like today. There's been some interesting questions or just walls of text, but I would highly recommend joining that server. There's also the John Hammond server, which is much bigger than my own server, but also definitely worth getting into and having a look at and talking with the members of that server, because that's where all the good stuff is. It's in Discord. Next question is from Yuval B. I'm not sure. I can't really read your name there. Question is, any binary XP resources you would recommend? No, I don't have any resources I can recommend for you. Terribly sorry, but yeah. Next question. Come on, mods. Let's get it going. Let's get the next question up. I want to see it. Go. I'm going to refresh my page. Maybe they've already put it up there and it hasn't loaded yet. All right, next question is from Moin Sheikh. And the question is, any books you would recommend for the blue team? I actually did a video on this a couple of months ago on different books for blue team environments. Actually, it was focused on red team environments. I'm wrong. Books for blue team, there's not a lot of good stuff out there from what I've found, but maybe I'll do a video on that. I'm going to write this one down. Top five books for blue team. All right. I'll write that one down and I'll get that video done once I've read those 5 books. Next question is from Delegato19HD. The question is, evening mate, what's up dude? Sit in Sydney, about to take my CCNA exam. Good luck. No IT background experience. Any suggestion on entry-level job? Thanks. Yep, if you want to join the Safer Internet project, I'll help you get a job in Sydney or in Canberra or Melbourne. It might not be exactly cybersecurity itself, but it will more than likely lead to a cybersecurity role, that's kind of cool, I think. Next question is from Woodley St. Julian. The question is, checking in from the States, DC. Great content. Thank you very much. I had a question from you. I have an A+, Sec+, and studying some CCNA. I have my COSA+ exam in February. Good luck with that. Having a tough time with COSA+. Any recommendations? Are you following the coursework for that? Because from what I've seen, the coursework is actually quite in-depth. A lot of people seem to try and venture away from the coursework or labs that are included in the CyberSec Plus. I would highly recommend not doing that because it's designed literally to help you get through that. So that's that would probably be the one I'd stick to it. The next question is from Roman XYZ. The question is, do I really need Hack the Box VIP subscription? I searched for Windows machines, Active Directory machines on other platforms, but due to license issues, there aren't any available. Yeah, I mean, if they're only under VIP, then probably yes. I assume they've made those machines VIP very recently with the OSCP introducing the Active Directory pieces to that. So yeah, I mean, that's entirely up to you if you want to go VIP or not. Next question is from OT. The question is, what do you think is the best path to enter CyberSec without having a formal computer degree / education? If you want to go down the certs route, I would probably look at starting off with the A+ if you have no experience in IT at all and no plans to go to university. So start with the A+. From there, go to the CCNA and then the Security Plus, and then work out where you want to go from there. If you want to go to CYSA Plus or OSCP, you're going to have to get certified and pretty heavily certified. You're also going to need to gain some experience. So potentially you're going to need to do some work experience with a local managed service provider or MSP to sort of help bring you over the line and get you into that first job. Next question is from Joshua F. Break question mark. No breaks. We're power round, baby. Question is, if you're still in touch with current vulnerability trends, what have you seen as recent possible in terms of web apps? The biggest trend I've seen recently is an increase in WordPress vulnerabilities. People are going out of date across the board everywhere, and it seems to be it just seems to be something that just keeps on coming. So there's always WordPress vulnerabilities out there, and they just seem to be more common at the moment. The next question is from Harley J, and the question is, what are the entry-level positions within the cybersecurity industry in Australia? This is going to be the last question of Power Round, because I'm going to take a quick breather because my mods are going to get angry at me if I don't. Entry-level positions in cybersecurity in Australia, probably the governance, risk and compliance position, so GRC. Also the security analyst positions, but most of those positions are in Canberra. So yeah, there's a lot of them there. There's also a few in Brisbane, but most of them are, they call them security analyst, but they're not really. They're more like questions. They're more like entry-level network engineer type roles. So they call them security analysts, but they're really not, which is kind of interesting. But yeah, I'm going to go through. There's only 2 more questions left. We're keeping Power Round going, baby. Let's do it. Tech Waves. This question is, how do I get good at CTFs? You keep doing them. That's a simple answer for a simple question. Practice makes perfect, guys. So just focus on what it is that you're doing. What I would focus on is actually becoming a specialist at one area of CTF. So for example, I suck at PWN, and I'm not that good at reversing either, but I'm kind of good at the MISC challenges, which is really weird because they're not really technical most of the time. They're just really weird. So I actually kind of like them. Next question is from I have no idea, and the question is how to be a SOC analyst from 0 to hero. That's a question worthy of making a 10-minute video. Otherwise, I'll be talking for at least 10 minutes to answer that one. The quick version is to get the right sort of experience, the right sort of certifications, and push yourself forwards to get that job. But you're gonna have to try hard. It's not an easy road to walk down. The last question that I'm going to be answering here is from OT, and the question is, what key skills / technologies do you think are important to know when getting into cybersecurity? For example, Python or Linux knowledge. I would say both Python and Linux are a great starting point. I would also say network fundamentals are an absolute must. They are super important to understand. Also, understanding different sort of like personality traits is a great way to start, because not only is it good for jobs like social engineering, which is kind of rare, but I mean they do still exist, which is kind of cool. Being able to work in an environment, in a team environment specifically, is probably one of the main points of any job that seems to be forgotten when people are asking what sort of jobs they should get into. So I'm losing my words here because I've been talking for an hour and a half. But basically, having people skills is very important. And on that note, I'm going to end this live stream. I'm going to play this song one more time because I think it's kind of fun. Thank you all for coming to this live stream. It's been fun as always. If you have any more questions, save them for the next live stream. It's going to be in 2 weeks' time. If you don't want to wait that long, jump into my Discord server, discord.gg/DC CyberSec. Jump on there. If you have more questions that you don't want to ask in Discord, chuck them in the comments below when this video gets published, and I will answer them as best I can when I get around to it. Thanks for coming along, guys. It's been a pleasure as always, and get some sick DC CyberSec pajama merch. It's kind of fun, right? Anyway, I'll see you later, guys. Thanks for coming along.